Welcome, fellow cinephiles and TV aficionados, to a landmark moment in the realm of cinematic exploration. It's with immense excitement and gratitude that we present to you the 100th episode of This Guy Hasn't Seen. For 100 episodes, we've embarked on a journey through the vast landscapes of cinema and television, guided by the simple yet powerful premise, sharing the joy of discovery. From classics to hidden gems, from blockbusters to indie darlings, our quest has been fueled by the thrill of experiencing something new, whether it's for the first time or the 100th. Join us today as we celebrate this milestone with a special episode, and of course, more cinematic revelations. It's been a ride filled with laughter, debates, and the occasional, "Oh, have you not seen that?" And we wouldn't have it any other way.
Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent big ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back again for the 100th time with my co-host and running mate, one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Oh, Mari, thank you so much for having me. 100. 100. Wonderful. Crazy.
Yaku.
Can't believe it. Can't believe it. Who would have thought?
In.
I love
Yaku.
it. I love it.
Other language words for 100. Wow.
Century.
Century. Anyway, that's right. 100 episodes. If you don't know what's on that one, you probably it's because I can't say deal with it. Anyway, this guy hasn't seen a show where we talk about movies back and forth. One guy's seen it, one guy hasn't. Been kind of a movies club, but this time for the 100th episode, we're doing something that we've only done kind of once before, where we step a little bit away from the typical formula of one guy seeing it hasn't. Because you've definitely seen this, Bill. We've known each other long enough to know you've seen this movie, but
Absolutely.
there are a lot of people who may not have. And if they haven't, well, I felt because it meant a lot to me that you guys should see this movie. And that is Jim Carrey's The Mask.
The Mask from 1994. Bank clerk Stanley Ipkiss is transformed into a manic superhero when he wears a mysterious mask. It is directed by Chuck Russell. It is written by Mike Fallon, Mark Verheiden, and Mike Werb. And it stars, of course, Jim Carrey. Also, Cameron Diaz.
Introducing.
Very first acting role.
Yeah, introducing Cameron Diaz to the world. Also, Peter Green, Mr. Dorian Tyrell himself, among others. Yes. So, why this movie? Well, we did some things in the past. We did it with the Raid Redemption, where it was just like, hey, it's a movie.
I just really wanted to talk about it.
Yeah.
Now that we have a show where we talk about movies, why would you not want to talk about your favorite movies of all time? And our favorite movies of all time, we often have seen each other's because they're classic movies.
Yeah, there was another Jim Carrey movie that I immediately after recording last week was like, damn, that's another Jim Carrey movie we could have talked about that's on both of our lists very high, but maybe some other time. But The Mask for me has been, I talked about it when we saw Clarence Williams in Tales from the Hood. And the second I saw that man come back on screen, just I was like, this explains a lot just about myself, seeing this man on screen in this particular film. And Jim Carrey, I wouldn't have even needed to rewatch the movie to tell you that he had a big effect on me, acting wise, life wise, behavior wise, all that kind of stuff, influence throughout my life. Jim Carrey was one of the first actors. I think him and Eddie Murphy were two of the first actors that by name I could tell you, like, oh yes, I like this actor as opposed to this character. So it was real influential. And after we talked about Caddyshack last week, and we talked about it being the 100th episode, I'm like, it's something that means a lot to me. And we got on the topic last week about comedy, and we touched on it throughout our 100 episodes. Comedy and its effect, the effect that time has on comedy. Over the years, usually a lot of comedies are products of their time and they become dated, not nearly as funny or entertaining to watch. I believe when Super Jazz was on the show, he mentioned that was the effect of him with Anchorman. He's not a fan of that. So I was like, you know what? And we talked about it with Caddyshack too. So I'm like, why not do it with The Mask? It's the 100th episode. It's something that means a lot to me. I know Jim Carrey.
This is an important episode.
It's an important episode. And let's just enjoy ourselves with some nostalgia. Is this? I hadn't seen it in a minute. I know I watched it a crap ton when I was younger. I hadn't seen it in a minute. Will the nostalgia goggles be busted now that I'm watching it with a critic's eye, for a show where I have to review movies and tell you if I don't like them? Let's find out. Bill, your relationship with The Mask or whatever, or Jim Carrey,
or, yeah, whatever.
It's weird to say that, like your relationship with The Mask.
Oh man, so the mask, my relationship with The Mask. I think I have brought up this list before on this show, but I have, as one does, I have drafted a list of the 10 most important movies to me in my life. One of the spots on this list, full disclosure, and people are gonna hate me for it, get at me at the comments. I'll fucking fight you. One of the items on this list of 10 movies, only 10 movies. These are not the 10 best movies. These are not the 10 these are the 10 most important movies in my life over the span of my life. One of the 10 movies on this list is Ace Ventura 2: When Nature Calls. Not Ace Ventura 1, Ace Ventura 2. And when I constructed this list, that spot was going to be a Jim Carrey movie. And I didn't know if it was going to be Ace Ventura 2: When Nature Calls or if it was going to be The Mask. Ask me, gun to my head, name the 5 funniest movies of all time. Mask 100% would have blurted out of my mouth. 100%. So that's this movie for me.
Yeah. So yeah, we won't waste too much more time. What did we expect? We expected to watch a movie we know and love.
I can't.
Taking the hat off.
Feel so much more comfortable.
I feel weird without a hat on as well. I'm not gonna lie.
You look like you are 42 and have sold insurance all day long.
We wanted to dress up a bit for the man.
You look like you've sold insurance all day long, and you just are trying to watch the game, and somebody is yelling at you from the other room. That was the look that you were given.
Fair.
Yeah.
It is what it is. This is what we're doing now. I feel better. I feel better with the hat on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should have shaved.
Now you're an NBA draft pick.
NBA draft pick. Oh
God, we got the jokes here, folks. 100th episode.
100th episode.
100th episode. Come on, 100th. Come on, 100th episode. I was gonna not wear a baseball cap. Come on.
Right? Yeah.
All right. So The Mask, Omari.
Yes, sir. Sorry, just
Cameron Diaz's first film ever.
Yes.
It's crazy.
That it is. And I remember on one of my watch throughs, I think in my teenage years, just like, let me go back to the mask and watch this. You know what I mean? I saw that opening thing and it said, and introducing Cameron Diaz. And by that point, she had done like the Charlie's Angels and all the other stuff. Cause there was a big period where she was in a bunch of stuff, like your Shreks and your other
Oh, for
shit.
sure.
So she had done that. And I'm like, introducing? What the hell? So it always catches me off guard with that. But it was nice getting back into this and just being like, damn, I remember Tina Carlisle. Tina Carlisle was awesome.
Yeah,
Oh,
a big crush on, and then like Forever was just, it was like, wait a minute, that's not the Cameron Diaz from The Mask.
uh,
Yeah, it was different. She feels like two different people. Like, I was discussing it with my wife earlier while we were watching the film, and it's like, it's not that she hasn't gotten any work done or anything like that. She lost a bunch of her baby weight, her kind of baby fat kind of thing, and she was probably pretty young here. I don't know, but we
I
eventually
mean,
get
it's
her.
introducing Cameron Diaz,
Right.
so
I mean, no, it's
probably.
literally her first acting role. So but yeah, it's she it just became a very different vibe presented and aura to her. It was
Yeah,
it was crazy. But yeah, I had a big crush on Tina.
who didn't?
I read while watching this film, I was reading up, and the teeth that Jim is wearing while he is under the mask. That was initially just supposed to be, that was a prop they created for non-speaking moments. Just
Just
a
so
like
he
a
would always have a.
accent point. They would have like a, and Jim got word of it and got a pair of them and just trained himself, like trained his mouth to shape around the new teeth, the new giant teeth, and just like, and that's why we have the somebody stop it, like that. We have that enunciating,
Somebody
and
stop me.
because he's overcompensating for these giant fucking two front teeth, where he's not able to even close his mouth as much as he used to, and he's got to like literally try to like get over the teeth and close his lips together, or else they would rest like open. And so the work, like the amount of work he is putting into like literally every line, as we know, it's Jim Carrey, so he has an insane control of every single little centimeter of every muscle in this face.
It's party time. Party. Why? Because I gotta. Man, I'm just shaking my head a lot.
Yeah, like how do you like, I don't think we should go through like kind of how we normally, like I would just jump straight into standout moments. Like, give me like right off the top, like what is, when you think of The Mask, what scene, like what is the scene for you?
Uh
Is it the first mask in the club scene? Is it
Yellow
the,
suit.
yeah, is it Yellow Suit? Is it Cuban Pete? Uh
Yellow suit mask. Just
Alley, the back
the
alley
back
is
alley scene. Night one of the mask is crazy in itself. A Tommy gun.
yeah.
No, look, I'm roadkill. Dude, just so many freaking me watching this and just like quoting so many of the lines, and I'm
Oh
like,
God.
I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
watching this unbiased. I can't. It's impossible for me to watch this movie unbiased. Sorry, spoilers. The nostalgia goggles ain't ever coming off. They're affixed to my eyes for life.
Yeah. Even just as simple one as I'm just looking for my mask.
I
I
got
got
it.
it. Became this random quote inside of our group.
Yes,
It was
I got it. That's the other thing. The whole fucking group was obsessed with the movie. So we'd be quoting it all the time. Yeah, there's no way
absolutely
I was going to watch this movie unbiased.
a Tommy gun. Yeah, 100%.
Dude, as a kid, that was probably one of the first things that I didn't even know what a Tommy. I learned what a Tommy gun was through the movie. I missed the
Mhm.
other joke, like The joke that you aren't gonna get as a kid when he's pulling out the balloons and he's like, "Sorry, wrong pocket."
Right. He
Oh,
pulls out a used condom. Yeah,
yeah.
there's so many interlaced, like, because that's the timeless part of this is that it's Looney Tunes. It's just on the base level of it, it's just Looney Tunes. Like Jen was talking about it because she would have been even younger than us. Not by only by a couple of years, folks. Come on now. Um, but yeah, she would have been younger than us, and she was talking about how like none of these jokes would have hit me when we had just gotten through the first couple of scenes. And it was like, well, yeah, you may have not known what a Rorschach test was, but then Jim Carrey pretended his tongue was his tie was his tongue for a minute. And
Yeah.
so you're so like
Exactly, like
it-
ink blot test. I did not hear the term Rorschach until like when they told us about it in middle school. I was like, those are called Rorschach tests? Meanwhile, I had watched The Mask so many times as a kid.
Right.
Just like ink blot test. Yeah. It was like
um,
perfectly like mixed in like with what
right. Yeah.
jokes.
So like the base level of it is just like Looney Tunes because of the character's obsession with cartoons. That's what his mask powers end up being. But I mean, yeah,
Big Tex Avery fan.
it's just kind of Looney Tunes comedy, but then interlaced in there are a bunch of jokes for the adults
Yeah.
that like I don't know, like I can't tell you the first 700 times that I watched this movie if I knew what was going on with the mufflers
Oh yeah.
and the
Yeah.
shitty car mechanics.
That was about high school.
I don't know how much.
Together.
Yeah, I don't know how much beyond the Mask just beat those guys up.
Yeah, I just knew he showed up, yelled, "Hold on to your log nuts! It's time for an overhaul," and spun around.
Yeah, maybe he tied them up with the mufflers.
Yeah, I think that's what my imagination was just did. I didn't look at get me a proctologist. You heard me.
Well, you don't know
Making
what a
good one.
proctologist is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, oh, you shoved them up there. The fucking another scene that always sticks out to me is the dream sequence outside the club after he fucked up.
Yeah. It's just like a super exaggerated like yeah, Cary
Super
Grant
cool,
kind
dude.
of
Yeah,
type of yeah.
car pulls up and everything, and then she just turns up and starts licking his face, and it starts having to stop. I was wondering, she started to go to fucking town on it.
Oh yeah, she was getting in. I was digging in. She's digging in. I mean, for me, when I think of the Mask, it's Yellow Suit.
Yeah,
It's
Yellow Suit
night is yeah, that's S tier, and then there's everything else. Or like
Exactly.
it's Yellow Suit is its own tier called Yellow Suit,
Yeah,
and then everything else gets filed into S and A.
it's why it's the one that's remembered and associated with that
Yeah.
movie. That it was also just the best fit he had out of it. I like the black suit that he had near the end in the climax,
Uh-huh.
but the yellow one is just
And that one doesn't last. I mean, he's in that for just 2 minutes. maybe.
I'm just saying it's still a sick look.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Do I
So
like it?
yeah, Yellow Suit, bank robbery is whatever. But
Oh.
like obviously it's all at the club, and for me, honestly, it's even after. Like the dancing is fun. The homage to Horny Wolf from the
Yeah.
old Warner Brothers cartoons
The Tex Avery
is fun.
and stuff.
But for me, that scene starts when who is it, Dominic, Dorian,
Dorian. Yeah.
when Dorian comes downstairs,
Oh.
and it's like the playing of not shooting him, and then the you got me, and then
You got me, partner.
and he falls into the dude's arm, and he does the like 5 different famous death scene movie, like
Saran.
bad deaths movie
It's getting
moments.
dark.
And then, of course, the last cough goes right into the dude's face. And I know it's coming from the very first cough. I'm like, oh, right. And then the last cough goes in his face. And it still gets me every time. And then the little fart. And
And as he's like taking the award and stuff, I like the character work of fucking Dorian. Just also just
yeah,
like
that's what I
he's
said.
on
Yeah, I
camera,
was like, what do they see? What are they seeing?
and he's just like, okay, yeah, like he's trying to look good and stuff for the camera.
Yeah, I guess it's just like Cuban Pete, where like for a second they're just miraged into believing that there's an audience out there and this is all real. In reality, it's just them on the stage. But yeah, he's just miraged
He just
into
wraps them into what he's doing. They're like,
Uh-huh.
wait a minute, that's not how this works. Cuban Pete, obviously big moment, the standout. Everyone talks about it forever, and it's always great. I'm fucking singing along with damn near every song in this movie when it played, even fucking the song from the fucking dream sequence, the fucking I'm just the baby in this business alone. I'm just the baby. Nobody ever trained me.
It kicks. It does. It does.
It's a great
Um,
soundtrack.
Yeah, Cuban Pete is amazing. The studio wanted to exit the entire process of the film, literally the entire process, pre-production, during production, post-production. It had to like the amount of audience tester notes that were like, we loved the musical number, had to come in so immensely that they didn't decide to cut it, but it was so close to being on the cutting room floor. And man, it
was great because even as a kid, when he did the little this, and you could see the girl like with her, he's a really modest guy. Her little acting like she's possessed and ends up liking it. I like her like little portrayal of it because she's like singing it and she's like literally, what the fuck? Really
no, yeah, she does a really good job.
Oh no, he's the hottest guy. And she's like, fuck it. In Havana, in Havana. Like, screw it. I can sing apparently. Si, senorita, I know. But when I go cheeky boochie, it's very nice. So full of spice. This is a
The only thing I don't like about that is he gets like 30 feet away and then takes off the mask.
Yes, that did not make sense to me. Growing up, like the more I grow up, it's like you should not have taken the mask off there. You literally just went around the corner.
Yeah. Like zoom home, it'll take you 30 seconds.
Yeah. Zoom home, take the money out of your apartment.
And then zoom across the country. But then we wouldn't have a movie. We'd have a different movie.
Yeah, meanwhile, old girl just pulls into the thing, yells out, "Stop!" So even if the cops would have ran past, they definitely hear her calling out to the dude. Oh, it's shooting after the car. I missed. Yeah, you
We all missed.
like
Earlier, I love earlier the whole early process of getting arrested too. Freeze, and then the the pockets gag is great.
Picture of Kellerman's wife. Wait, what? Oh, I thought you enjoyed the humor. After all, you married her. That's gotta hurt. Just a fucking picture of his wife. Like just spawning shit out of his pocket. Like that'd be a fun superpower to have just to fuck with people. Like, oh, bazooka. I've got a permit for that. I would have loved it. The next thing they did was pull out the fucking permit. Like I have a permit for that. Permit for bazooka. Okay. But yeah, I remember before realizing as I got closer to adulthood how inappropriate it was. I used to think the scene that preceded that was funny, where he put on his like Pepe Le Pew impersonation, let's just say. Uh, but he was a bit forthcoming, a little too forthcoming, and you can see her being a little not as into it until he did the smoke ring.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Well,
she,
we have to do that to set up that she's into Stanley.
mhm. Yeah, because he went overboard with the
Right.
mask thing, which because he was like, "Oh, she likes the mask." Well, then I already know I got it, so I'm gonna act like it. Just talking about like, kiss me and I'll reveal my croissant. I will spread your pate. I will dip my ladle into your vichyssoise. Like, oh, oh no. Gitador, Gitador, Gita window. I don't
I don't
care.
care.
It took me so long to realize what that was. And that was also a high school with closed caption, like, oh, he's speaking French. And he's saying Gitador. Okay. Sorry, fellas. Oh, we talked about the doctor. He showed up in one of the other movies we were talking about. I don't remember
Yep.
which one it was. And then you were like, apparently his character's name was not the doctor, it was something else. And I'm still gonna go ahead and say that's some BS. He's the doctor. I've watched it
Yeah.
this time. They ain't called him
The
nothing else.
doctor is in.
The doctor is about to operate.
Yeah.
That line is entrenched in my memory since like age 8. That the man's the doctor. Get the fucking credits out of here. They got Doc.
They got Doc.
Nobody calls him anything other than the doctor or Doc.
They don't say Walter. Yeah.
Some respect on the doctor's name.
Right. Oh man, that's funny.
But yeah, fucking Dorian when he puts on the mask and when he also shows up at the club. I'm just an ex-employee. Who's going back pay?
I think I was scared.
Or should I say pay back?
I think I was scared of him when like the first viewing of this film.
I'll
It
agree.
was like that was
Oh,
one
definitely
of those.
first
Like,
couple viewings. As I got older, I was just like, I just like the lines and stuff like, oh, this is what he says. I'm just an ex-employee. Shout out to the dog Milo. There was a long time where I considered if I ever had a dog, getting that breed of dog and naming it Milo. That was like my first ideal. I have a dog kind of deal. I want a Milo. Smart ass dog. Almost as if it's a character for a movie. That's how smart it is. It's like, Milo, get the keys. Knows that they're hidden under the couch pillow. Like, here you go, buddy. And then later, the fucking jump up the wall was funny though. Come on, do it. Do it. And then later just does that one motivational slow motion.
I love that scene. Yeah, apparently that all has to be improvised by Jim Carrey. A lot of the scenes with the dog are pretty heavily improvised because he wasn't that well trained of a dog. For instance, they never wrote in the script about the keys or
And
the frisbee
okay.
moments where he won't let go of them. That was not written in the script. Jim Carrey just has to like improv through that.
And it's okay because it becomes a running gag that he doesn't like letting go of things. So it works. I always thought about that because I remember John Wick or some movie, they were talking about Keanu Reeves working with the dogs like for months so that they could actually see him as another alpha to do the things on command and stuff when they're like filming. So they're practically his dogs, just like they belong to someone else, but you get my point.
Right.
Like, he grew a bond with those dogs. And I was like, I wonder how many movies they do that for, and how many movies they just say, what happens on film happens.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times there's like clever shooting involved to to keep the frame as simple as possible and things like that. Oh, right. You
Yeah.
know, as funny as this movie is, another thing about it is for probably for the longest time, if you ask me to picture the mob boss intimidation scene, like I would picture the one from this movie.
Nico
The
with the
Nico putting Dorian on the ground by with a gun to his head and making him hold a golf ball in his teeth while he shot while he hit it with a golf club. Yeah, that was one of those scenes that was
yeah.
burned in.
I hear things like that, and I start losing my concentration. And my game, it goes all the way to hell. You could too.
Yeah, man, he's intimidating. That's a good scene. That is a really good scene.
Like, yeah, this movie just, I think it was fun, or I thought it was funny, like early on, just with the how much of a loser Jim Carrey is, just with the hey guy, hey, I bought you these concert tickets. So it's like, come on, man, don't buy concert ticket. Like, it's not saying don't buy concert tickets for anyone, but if you know they don't like you, maybe consider that. Not well, I may whittle her down in like 3 weeks. I think it's like, nah, man, that's not. Uh, but and then his like whole article. I wrote nice guys, and then nice guys finished last article. Oh, yeah, girls sure do like a nice guy. I should know. I'm one of them. Betrays him later on in the movie, ladies and gentlemen. She takes his whole "I'm a nice guy, please love me" mentality that he's throwing out there, and she uses it against him for $50,000. And turns his ass into the police. Gets his ass either killed or turned into the police. She don't care. She can't lose her condo. You know how hard it is to get an apartment in this city.
It's a lot of money. $50,000.
Yeah.
If I don't know you, what am I doing? I mean, they promised her that they wouldn't hurt him.
Mm-hmm.
That they just wanted the mask. So I would probably do it.
I'm not saying that she was wrong. I'm just saying maybe
Oh
don't
no,
be
yeah.
so
She was for
desperate
sure
and super
wrong.
trusting.
She was for sure wrong, but I would still probably do it.
Yeah, I mean, for all I know, he's a bank robber.
Yeah, and via that he ends up getting arrested, like you said, and we had the whole dog scene of him jumping up. Cameron Diaz is fully on board at this point. She knows I mean, honestly, the moment at the park, like she would have to be the stupidest person alive
To
to not be
not
like, all
go.
right, well, you're the mask. Like that wasn't a big bush, dude. Like that was like a medium-sized bush that you just ran behind and came out the other side as the mask. I'm not an idiot. You're basically the same size. When I squint, you know what? You look like him a lot too. So, but yeah,
My friend is he should be here any minute.
So yeah, she's fully on board, and so we get that scene that's nice. But
Oh yeah.
they begin a running gag of constantly being. Well, I guess it's been going since the dance sequence in Yellow Suit. They're continuing a running gag of always being stopped from having that first kiss.
Oh no, they kiss in the
Oh right,
Zansu.
they do kiss in Yellow Suit.
They just can't
Right,
get
it's
another kiss until
Right, Stanley can't get a kiss until until the end of the movie.
despite the fact
The
that
start.
kiss is in his name. And so they keep like having the ladies being like, Stanley, it kiss. Nothing.
Yeah, so this is the start of a reoccurring gag of them not being able to seal the deal there with that kiss.
Yeah. Um. But yeah. Also, when she first shows up at the fucking bank and he is just falling for like everything she's doing, just like, oh, I don't know anything about bank accounts. So, what's
Are
this tie?
you really sitting
What's
here
this
and trying to
tie?
tell me
Hold
that you
on.
wouldn't fall for that red dress?
Did you not hear me continue? I was still talking. I was like, so she's like, oh, what's this time? I can't say I would have handled the situation much better. I probably, if anything, I probably would have been like thinking it's weird, like just women don't talk to me like this. What's happening? But that's just been me throughout my life. Whenever something like that happens, I'm like, what's your game? What are you really after? It's weird. Anyway, but that was funny. I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I could have handled that situation any better than what he was doing. I probably wouldn't have stuck a pen in the pencil sharpener, but that was funny.
Yeah, that was good. That was
A
good.
visual gag that I did not pick up on when I was younger. I saw him stick something in the pencil sharpener, but I'm like, why did the pencil react like that when he put it in there? I didn't like realize to look at the detail and realize he put a pen in there. I thought it was a pencil. Like, okay, you sharpened the pencil. Did it like shock you or something? And I'm like, oh, it's because he put a pen in because he was so distracted.
Omari,
Yes.
give me your Mount Rushmore Jim Carrey movies.
Mount Rushmore Jim Carrey movies. So I have The Mask on there. I have Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind on there.
Really?
Yeah, I really enjoyed that movie. Um, yeah. Um, and kind of was like looking for an excuse to rewatch it, but I hadn't had one, and then that's kind of what I alluded to earlier when I was like, damn, I could have done this Jim Carrey movie. Oh well, we're doing The Mask. I'm not complaining. So those two are definitely on there. Um, I remember liking Dumb and Dumber as a kid. I don't know about Mount Rushmore though. Sorry, he's done a lot.
Yes.
So
In this year alone, in 1994 alone, The Mask will first Ace Ventura comes out, then The Mask comes out, and then Dumb and Dumber comes out, all in 1994.
yeah, and then there's Ace Ventura. I have more memories of Pet Detective than I do of Nature Calls.
Mm-hmm.
That said, if I was a kid, I probably would have liked Nature Calls more. But I think I gotta go with Ace Ventura. It got him Hello World. Obviously, in Living Color said Hello World. This is Jim Carrey.
Yes,
But
yes. Fire Marshal Bill.
I forget which movie it is. There's some movie where he's Fire Marshal Bill in the background.
Why did I tell you something? Liar, liar.
Liar,
Another
liar.
one that is a potential Mount Rushmore. For me.
Yeah, so probably, yeah. Of the 90s movies and stuff, the ones that I mainly watched a lot as a kid, there was Liar Liar, there was Dumb and Dumber, there was Ace Ventura, The Mask. And then growing older and seeing him in his more serious things, obviously you got Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine. Um Actually, instead of Dumber Dumber, I'm gonna put Truman Show because I was the hey, he can be a serious actor too.
Yeah.
So Mask, I'll go Ace Ventura. Dumb Truman Show, Eternal Sunshine. Two comedies, two
Ours may be strikingly similar. So I
Oh,
mean, I have what would you miss?
Man on the Moon.
Man on the
That was
Moon.
a good one.
There's another really good one.
I'll keep it off
Are
though.
you gonna kick anybody off? Okay, okay. It's in the
Yeah,
honorable mention.
yeah.
Almost made it. You're in the museum inside of Mount Rushmore, but you're not. You're not on Mount Rushmore. Um. Oh, so two. I have two Jim Carrey movies on that list that I mentioned earlier in this episode. So they gotta go on there, and that's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, probably the greatest movie of all time for me, and Ace Ventura 2: When Nature Calls, one of those VHSs that I burnt the fuck out of. Um, so that's up there on my Mount Rushmore, and then. Ooh, it's it for me it's The Mask, Truman Show, Liar Liar. It's probably, you know what, it's probably, yeah, in that order. So it's going to be Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Ace Ventura 2: When Nature Calls, um, The Mask, and then The Truman Show. Honorable mentions to Liar Liar.
Yeah, pretty much the
I'm
same
not the
fucking
biggest fan
list.
of Man on the Moon. It's okay.
That's
It's okay.
why. Well, I remember you showed it to me as a you
Mhm.
should watch this. Then that's
Okay.
also why I definitely left it off because it's not like I watched it a lot, but I'm like, I know he did a good job in the movie.
Yeah, he did a very solid job in it. I once you combo it with the documentary that Netflix released, um, it it just doesn't age
Doesn't
as
age well.
it doesn't age as great as you'd want it to be, want
That's
it to.
fair.
Yeah,
Uh,
I don't think it's in this discussion anymore. But yeah,
to be fair, well,
I know I did support it in its early years.
and to support your claim, like what you just said, I haven't really watched it since you
Hmm.
showed it to
And
me.
you know what? Honestly, Grinch Who Stole Christmas.
Yeah, that's better than
I
I
mean,
thought it was
that's
going to be when
it's
I
a
was
Christmas
younger.
movie,
Yeah.
but and oh my God, Bruce Almighty. Honestly, Bruce Almighty should be right
Oh
here
shit.
in this conversation
You're
with the
right.
others.
So many fucking movies. I said he's done a lot. I was not
Absolutely,
kidding. Um, yeah, Bruce Almighty definitely up there as well. No, Jim Carrey, yeah. But
is
I
the
do like
man.
that our list is pretty much the same, except we have different movies and
Different Ace
different
Venturas.
movies.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I loved Ace Ventura 1 also, and I would probably easily admit to you that it is the better movie. But when I was constructing that list, when I'm honest with myself, during the time that I was an Ace Ventura dude, it was Ace Ventura 2 that really locked it in for me. Um like I caught the Jim Carrey bug in 1994, and it was just absolutely cemented by the time the second one had released.
That's entirely fair. Yeah, I was the mask for so long and stuff. But yeah, Eternal Sunshine, I liked it too. Sorry to those viewers who don't like it. I enjoyed it. Yeah,
People wouldn't like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I mean, there's people that don't like a lot of things. I can understand that.
I mean, there are people who don't like what we're watching next week either.
Honestly, there's a part of me that's a little surprised that you like it. Every time you say that, it just feels a little wrong.
Fair. Maybe one day we'll talk about it. But yes, The Mask. You guys should watch it. Clearly, we still loved it, regardless of whether or not our commentary on Is Comedy Timeless is was tested or not. I don't know. Bottom line is, this movie stood the test of time for me, and I'm assuming it did for Bill as well.
Yeah, I think timeless comedy is timeless. And then sometimes you write a movie for the comedy of the time.
That's a fair way of
Either
looking at
you
it.
write timeless comedy or you write comedy for the time.
That's entirely fair. I'm sorry,
You know,
I'm laughing.
the Judd Apatow universe, they're writing comedy for the time. And thus they had that moment there that they locked in. And I think that style of comedy was very
Judd
that
Apatow,
um that is
early 2000s.
yeah, that's 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up,
Oh,
Super
Seth
Bad.
Rogen peeps.
Yeah, well, yeah, Seth Rogen is the acolyte of
Gotcha.
Judd Apatow.
Yeah,
It all starts with the Judd Apatow tree.
gotcha.
I would say, but yeah, that segment of comedy that ruled
That is
movie
definitely of
theaters
a time.
for comedy movies for a while. Yeah, it's a comedy of a specific time, and like Adam Sandler movies, I think are comedy for a very specific dude that in 1996 was like 22 years old and just getting out of college and was kind of into sports, really liked hockey maybe, like drank beer and just liked to have a good time, and he's continuously making comedy for that man as he ages throughout his years because it's just Adam Sandler.
That is true. Well, yes, there you have it. There is The Mask. And like I said, we mentioned Eternal Sunshine. Somehow there are people who don't like it. Well, there's somehow people who don't like the movie we're watching next week. So I told Bill before this that I am hijacking our next week's movie.
Yes, you
Um,
had something pre-set up that was already going to be your selection, but you
oh
canceling
yeah, but
that.
then we replaced it with the 100th episode.
So I
Well,
just assumed that one was going into the next slot.
I got you. I wasn't sure. Something
Okay,
happened something happened recently.
right.
Um, I almost considered replacing this episode with this
Oh,
just because of the timing of everything.
uh-huh.
Well, like we said, I've been on the internet for numerous videos on this channel, at least 100 with you, over 100, almost 150 with Super Jazz on another channel.
Uh-huh.
And then a good 15 or 20 videos extra on this channel that all had something in common. They either covered a topic or at least had a particular thing in the background. This here Dragon Ball Z wall scroll that I've had since high school.
Of course.
In the recent times, Mr. Akira Toriyama passed. Dragon Ball is a big influence on my life. I can get into it when we talk about it, but
Yeah, save it.
there
Save
was
it.
a movie that technically I've covered on this channel before. I don't care. It's my channel. But
Oh
I
boy.
mentioned in the
Oh
past
boy.
you hadn't seen it. So I'll get a second opinion. We're watching 2018 It's just Dragon Ball Super Brawly.
Dragon Ball Super Brawly
Yes.
on this guy hasn't seen.
Yes, we're watching it next week.
First time we've had a hard copy representation on camera.
Hey, but if you want proof that I say that I care a lot about it, I'm not kidding. But we'll get into that next week. If you want to see some videos on there, you can see my previous thing on this channel where I covered it with a good friend of mine, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you. You can see his opinion on the movie, as well as all the other Dragon Ball movies, with the exception of Superhero. You can also find me on another channel on YouTube on the Whatever We Want podcast with Super Jazz. We do talk about just that, whatever we want. We do that usually on Wednesdays. Also on this channel on Saturdays, if you want to see more of this dynamic, that's right. we got a bunch of more episodes with this in the background because we got the other sports. We got the other show, the sports show on Saturdays called You Don't Watch Sports. Two guys talking about sports, helping you sprinkle a little information into your conversation. We're your guiding light through the sea that is sports talk. And yeah, I also have a Twitter and Twitch, Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. Bill, you got anything you want to say to the folks?
No.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. Thank you for 100 episodes. Here's to 100 more.
Oh, fuck. 100
Adios,
episodes.
miss.
Thank you. Thank you. And think, oh, man, 100,
100.
a century. What? This is, it's unbelievable. It's crazy. I love it. Never would have thought, hey, I was just pushing to try and keep, because I'm terrible with keeping connections with people, particularly if you leave my orbit of about 20 miles.
We thought this would be like a once every couple months.
Yeah, if you leave my orbit for the, like, if you don't physically see, if I don't physically see your face, it's really hard. It's really hard for me to keep in touch because I'm terrible at it. In reality, it's pretty easy. You just figure out a day that you're both available, and you hop on a Zoom, and you talk for an hour, and it's really cool. And then you can keep connected with some great friends.
Yeah. Like I said, it was supposed to be like a once every couple months, or once in a while.
Yeah.
Hey,
And the end of the first time, we were like, all right, well, I'm free next week.
Yeah. Immediately, weekly.
Okay, so we're just going to do this every week?
Yeah.
What's the next movie?
Yeah. Let's just trade. Why not? All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week with Dragon Ball Super Broadly. Adios.